Hello and welcome to round 5 of the Skill Issue Fantasy Series. We're in Silverstone this time around, and Max Verstappen is still leading the Drivers' Championship. Valtteri Bottas still in second place, Lewis Hamilton in third, Charles Leclerc best of the rest. There's only 2 points between them, and I sit in P8 in that particular championship. Don't know if I'm going to make much progress this time around, but let's go to the qualifying session and see what's up. So much like I was saying in the previous year, Silverstone is a challenging track for me, not the least of which is that I don't know how to handle a couple of the corners. Club corner, for example, is something that stumps me a bit, but that's okay. We've got a couple of real fast straights, a couple of real fast right-hand turns, so I'm going to be trying the soft to soft. I may have to switch tactic halfway and go to mediums. We're going to see how it plays out. Through practice, it didn't seem that dramatic on the tire wear, so I think I'll be okay. Really just going to be struggling with the sight lines because everything is so flat and low to the ground. I have a hard time spotting the corners, but I'm going to do my best, let the hot lap play out, and then get back to you with the qualifying results.
Just done a 127.60. P8.
So once qualifying has come and gone, it is Valtteri Bottas taking pole, Checo taking second place, Englishman Lando Norris taking the third spot, and Englishman Lewis Hamilton best of the rest in P4. I myself qualified a healthy P12, 40 thousandths of a second behind teammate George. Not going to gripe about it. The first lap usually has a fair amount of overtaking opportunities. Just going to go right into the race. Let's get it rolling.
Okay, the big ragu, nice and neat, stay out of trouble. Green, green, green. Car left. Still there.
So it is 5 green lights and we're all off the line. I didn't lose any positions, but Alpine on the back left makes contact. Alpine on the right takes position, take it right back, outbraking teammate George as well, and working up to P11 into the second corner. As we work through the Mickey Mouse section here, just hanging on the outside past the cavalcade of AI, working my way up to P9, going into the long straight, trying to get some slipstream, turn the battery up to max, just gonna cane it and hope to make more positions in the next corner. Not quite gonna make it, and this is where I struggle the most around this particular corner. So going wide, tapping the brakes, tapping the gas, just trying to keep it easy. Quick moment into P8 past the AlphaTauri, but can't make it stick. He's got a better line on the inside. As we work our way down the straight here, heading towards the next very fast left front tire chewing right hand corner here. You can see not quite getting all of it because the Aston Martin is making up pace behind. Going into Maggots and Beckett's here, trying to keep it clean. Cannot see the next corner, so I go wide. Terrible line, have to put the brakes on. Terrible line. Losing a position to the Aston Martin, unfortunately. AlphaTauri having a sniff on the left. Gonna have to try and get to the end of the strip and outbrake him. Luckily, he backs off, going into some of the final corners here in the third sector, just trying to keep pace. And I know there's an overtaking opportunity about to come up, so stomping the brakes, making a position, keeping it clean, but Aston Martin's got the inside, unfortunately can't make it stick. And that would be the tale of the first lap of Silverstone. But then it wasn't over on the start of lap 2. The AlphaTauri has the inside line into the first corner. I have to give him space or crash us both out. Unfortunately, dropping back down to P11, going into the second corner. Time for the highlights. So a bit later in the second lap here, you see him still in P11, still chasing the AlphaTauri and the Aston Martin and the car cluster ahead of me. Going into that same dive bombing spot here, gonna outbrake the competition, keep the inside, and claim P10 around the AlphaTauri, boxing him out on the inside, taking the position, having a great time of it. And as we go into the start-finish straight, I've got the run on the Aston Martin. Gonna hope to make a move into that first corner, making it stick a little bit wide, unfortunately, and then losing the position again. Going into the Mickey Mouse section, hard braking around the second corner. He's keeping it close, but we're keeping it clean. Braking around the tight hairpin left here, making the position up and making it stick. On to lap 3 now, still behind the Alpha, and unfortunately a terrible line on that right-hander means I lose a position to the Alpine. Gonna have to fight to get back out of P10. Near the end of lap 3, find myself in P11, losing position unfortunately to the faster car, but we've got some dive bombing opportunities. 2 AlphaTauris behind me now, going out of the second to last corner here, just trying to put the foot flat and keep things planted. P9 to start lap 4. And just a little further into lap 4 now, you see cutting it close on the Alpine and the Alfa Romeo, keeping it on the inside, passing the Alpine, in fact, going on to the next straight that's coming up past us right here and going into it in P8.
The next car is Raikkonen.
Now, as we come out of the Maggots and Beckett's complex on lap 4, I've got DRS on the Alfa Romeo in front of me. Just going to go right past them. No drama, no fight. The Alpine fading in the background as well. Alfa Romeo chooses to back off, and that's me in P7 at the end of lap 4. There was no drama over the next few laps, so at the end of lap number 7, going into the box, you can see that front left is pretty chewed up, but I'm more than halfway through the race, so I feel confident going back onto a fresh pair of softs for the second half of the race. I ended up coming out of the pits in P8 and behind the Alfa Romeo here of Antonio Giovinazzi, so in that next lap, just putting the DRS, putting the car beside and then behind me, no drama, no fight, a quick and easy P15 coming out of the pits. Unfortunately, that pass on the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi was the last overtake and in fact the last car I saw on track in front of me until this, at the start of the final lap, Nikita Mazepin blue flagged, gonna just have to work my way past him. In the time since that last overtake, I've made my way up to P7. That was purely passing other cars in the pits. There was no action, there was no one in front of me, so I'm just gonna let the last lap play out and cruise my way to a P7 finish at Silverstone.
To Hamilton ahead is now 8.7 seconds. P7. That's the finish. Well done.
So it is Checo with the win, Bottas takes P2, and Englishman Lando Norris takes the final podium position with Daniel Ricciardo best of the rest. I myself finish in P7, as we saw. Not a terrible race, a lot better than last year when I accidentally made contact with a Ferrari. I will happily take those points. So after that race, the driver standings are Max Verstappen in first, Valtteri Bottas takes P2, Checo works his way from P7 to a tie for third with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, all of them on 54 points, Lando Norris close behind with 51. I myself am in P8, above average, and I will take that. Up next is the race in Donington Park. Very excited to see how that's going to play out. I've done a little bit of racing there in this game, mostly in ACC. Love the track. Not 1000% sure how it's going to work without DRS. It's going to be a battery and braking affair, but really looking forward to that. So that's coming up. But until then, bye.